Hi guys, Joey Dollmaker Versaw here, and I am here to talk about Ann Sullivan's lace dolls and Lace 2.0. It's very exciting. This is a project from the heart. This is something that means a lot to me that I'm really excited to be a part of. There has been another person involved who's helped me get on this journey, and I'm here to talk a little bit about it with you guys. So here we go. Ann Sullivan started crafting her dolls in 1992. She had some issues with fashion dolls that were currently available. They had changed their design and the new rubbery legs that they used. It was harder to dress the dolls, which led her on this wonderful journey of creating her own doll that she felt was easy to dress. And she wanted some class and style. So she created a doll called Lace. Now, I don't actually have a Lace here. What I do have is Gretchen, which was one of Lace's many friends that was available while Ann was producing the dolls. I also have the very first Lace doll head prototype that Ann was so sweet to supply me with while I was working on this project. So I can show that off. So this is Lace. This is the original. This was the concept to create a doll that had character, style, class, and was easy to dress. Also for the collector market, like for the adult collectors, which is, during the time, 1992, there was only one other doll artist that kind of reached out and started making their own fashion doll, which, now we collectively call indie doll. I've been using the term for a really long time. Billy Boy had a doll called Midvani, which he had released, which was shorter than the current fashion doll market. We had Barbie, which was at 11.5 inches, and Midvani was a bit shorter than that doll. That was the first, really. That was the only thing that was available at the time, artist-wise, for fashion dolls, and it kind of opened up this door. I'm not sure if Ann was even aware of Billy Boy at the time. She might have been aware of his doll Feeling Groovy or Theatre de la Mode because he worked with Mattel and designed 2 dolls with them. But he, I believe, was off of her radar besides possibly knowing about those dolls that he designed. Don't think in 1992 Ann knew about Midvani. 1992 is when she started her what was to become kind of a cult classic legacy. I remember spending hours and hours, other teens were reading Teen Bop magazine and whatever else, and I was learning about dolls, and I had doll magazines spread out on my bed, and I was listening to probably Paula Abdul or Madonna and looking through my magazines, and in the back of these magazines there was this very eye-catching ad for these Lace dolls. They were black and white ads, and it was just Lace, usually in a teddy or something like that, but there was something about the face that just really captivated me as a young teen. And I couldn't afford one of her dolls at the time. I believe that she started out with like $100. I was able to order a catalog for $5, which was this huge, thick, color-copied photograph catalog of all of these available outfits that you could order for Lace and the available dolls, shoes that Ann was also making out of resin. I think that because it was one of the very first artist things that I had experienced with fashion dolls at the time, it felt so elusive. It felt, available. I wasn't able to purchase one, but a boy could dream, and I did. And I really felt connected with the stylization of the doll, especially her face. There was definitely connection, and it was definitely something that was high on my radar at the time. And years went by, and when I became an adult and was really collecting and then also making my own dolls, I had continued this search for the lace dolls, and they never showed up in all the years that I was watching for them to come up on sale online on eBay. I think one had come up that I had just somehow missed, someone had purchased within a 3-year period, So it wasn't something that you could really easily find or obtain. And then we bring ourselves to 2022, I think. Maybe 2021. I think 2022. Anyways, I had cultivated this friendship with a man named Eric Dupree, who had really crazy similar experiences, not only with the connection with lace, but with other doll artists, certain doll artists that I guess weren't necessarily obscure, but were obscure, you had to be there at the right time. You had to be looking at the right publications to really know about these dolls, have an appreciation for these dolls. We have artists like Michael Roche creating these beautiful porcelain dolls that are extremely expensive. Robert Tonner stepping up. He had his own company. I kind of take him a little bit out of that indie doll category. He was actually in full swing production. Helen Kish, some really amazing Nancy Wiley, Shelley Thornton, really amazing dolls coming out of the time. These art dolls that really made the 90s a special time to collect. Barbie was also on that bandwagon, starting the whole collector dolls things. Adults were feeling okay with admitting that they collected dolls. I'm sure adults have collected dolls for years and years prior, but now they were actually feeling okay with admitting that they were collectors because there's collector dolls that are made for collectors and for adults. Eric and I really connected and had a lot to talk about, and meanwhile, while we were just kind of chit-chatting on the phone here and there, he had mentioned he had contacted Ann and had a little bit of a connection with Ann. And somewhere within all of this idea came up of making a new lace doll for people. Ann wasn't producing anymore, and it was maybe an opportunity where we could give lace more life and also give her some recognition for her spot in doll history, and give some props, much deserved props, to Ann for her beautiful creation, and to let other people know about it and that she existed. Eric Dupree actually contracted Ann. He was able to come up with a contract and to talk with Ann, and we all agreed upon being able to make a new lace doll that we would call Lace 2.0, because this new doll was sculpted by me through a computer, and so it wasn't necessarily lace. It wasn't taken from Ann's original hand-sculpted molds. And so we decided Lace 2.0 was a proper name for her, as she kind of is her own being, a doll that's completely a tribute to a doll. So I did my very best in trying to capture the whimsy and the class of the original lace doll so that we can make her available in a very limited edition run, much like how the dolls were created at the time. They were hand cast, they were hand painted, put together by hand. And these new dolls, Lace 2.0, were completely put together by hand by me. So they definitely carry that same energy. And even though they aren't an exact replica, they are as close as I could possibly get to trying to sculpt something just from visuals, making a few alterations to update her. For instance, her knee design has changed from Ann's original knee design because of the way that she was able to make these dolls. They were actually able to be strung a little bit differently. So I had to kind of engineer a new knee for the doll. We wanted her to be able to cross her legs, which really wasn't something that Barbie could do, at least not very easily. I was able to kind of capture that with this new sculpt and joint to make it so that she could cross her legs when she's sitting down. These two lovely girls have their legs crossed here. Since there's only 20 dolls, they're all unique because they've all been hand painted by me. Also, the resin colors are slightly different from each other. They were made from different batches of resin, and we have a very pale version and we have a more like peachy version of lace that will be available. There were certain subtleties in the lace sculpt that I definitely wanted to capture with Lace 2.0. One of the subtleties and things was the S curve of her torso. Sorry, Gretchen, we're gonna kind of hold you up like a little marionette. Lace has a little bit of back, and we wanted to make sure to capture the S curves of her torso. Really was proud of her design sculpt. Also, her hands are kind of positioned for her to be sitting. And so we have that emulated with the new Lace 2.0, with her hands kind of out to the sides because she's catching herself from the back as she's sitting. Also, it's very cute to pose her with that hand position. The lace teddy that was designed for the doll, I wanted to kind of capture her original designs for lace, which most of the time lace was in lace. Funny that. So I just wanted something really beautiful and classy and simple like lace originally came in. So we have this sweet little lace teddy that she comes in and a little rosette choker. Lace 2.0 also comes with 2 wigs. I can get this out of the package. Now, these 2 wigs that we have were actually backstock that Ann had surplus that she was able to send me for these new Lace 2.0 dolls. So Lace 2.0 is going to come with 2 wigs. This right here is the bob, and oh no, Gretchen, you fell so gracefully. I'm so sorry. Come here, Gretchen. Gretchen's stringing is a little loose. She's over 30 years old and looking fabulous still. She just isn't as tight as she used to be. Don't you fall. Why don't you work with me? I didn't ask for you to fall on the ground. I said be glamorous, be everything that we want you to be. 'Cause you are a icon. And here we have it. We have both wigs being modeled. We have the platinum bob, and we have this kind of wheat long wig. They could have been styled a little better. I literally just threw them on the dolls to show the different hair options. Also, she can wear lots of other wigs, any Barbie-sized wigs that you have or can find online. So it's kind of endless with the stylization possibilities and what you can do with them. I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish, and I feel so honored to be able to be at this point in my life and my career where I can honor another artist like Ann Sullivan. It feels so amazing to be able to have had the gift to take her baby, something that is so special and so important and close to her and a part of her, and to be able to take that with kid gloves and try to create something that holds the same joy and spirit as her original creation had, which is really difficult to do when you're not the original artist for the doll. I had a passion for sure. I had so much love, and I'm a hard worker, and I've been doing this for a really long time, but I'm not Ann Sullivan. So having to kind of also within my own psyche and mind and everything while I was creating this, I was really creating this through a window. You know, I was peering into the window of Ann's workshop and what Ann's created, and then trying to take that from my POV and turn that into not the same doll, but a reflection of what I'm seeing through the window. It was certainly a challenge for me. I really, really hope that I did justice to the original doll. I put a lot of work into them. So I'm so happy and so thrilled to be a part of this collaboration, a part of this project. And I hope that the lucky 20 people that get to enjoy one of these lace dolls for themselves will really enjoy them and recognize what they stand for. They're not just a doll. They're a legacy. They are something to help breathe new life into an already existing doll that had a cult following, and to also project her possibly into the future. I'm really happy and proud with what I have, and I hope that you enjoy it. Gretchen! Thank you so much, Branny Mladinov, for creating this beautiful, beautiful art that you did for Lace. It's incredible. You captured her feeling, her vibe, her aesthetic just beautifully, like only you can do. And I'm so grateful that you helped collaborate with this project to do the art for the boxes. I also want to thank Eric Dupree for making this possible. Without Eric Dupree, none of this would have been possible. He also built a website for the original lace dolls. So definitely check out that site. I'll have that linked. I want to thank Ernesto Padro Campos of Dolldom so much for taking the beautiful publicity photographs that he took, as well as indie artists go in the doll world. Ernesto is a pioneer for doll photography, and he has been taking photos for many, many years and in many collaborations with other artists and publications. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this project and doing the magic that you do. I want to thank also Ann Sullivan, because without Ann, we wouldn't have Lace. And thank you so much for agreeing to this and for allowing for this to happen. I really am so excited to have been a part of this journey and a part of this legacy, even in the smallest little bit. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed watching. And until next time. Come on, Gretchen. Little lady. Oh my gosh. She is drunk.